Welcome to Brand for Good, the show for purpose-driven leaders who want to build timeless brands and create sustainable impact. I'm Lorraine Sugart, former PR and marketing executive turned founder of the disruptive agency Prosper for Purpose. I've worked with some of the world's most beloved brands, and I'm here to help you elevate your brand identity, visibility, influence, and impact. Are you ready to brand for good? Let's go. What if there was a way to measure a company's entire social and environmental impact? Well, there is. It's called the B Impact Assessment, and it's offered by the nonprofit B Lab. And since March is Certified B Corp Month, today I'm going to talk about the ongoing paradigm shift in the business world and how the triple bottom line philosophy of people, planet, and profit is here to stay. I'll also talk about how you can take steps to use business as a force for good, with or without becoming a certified B Corp. Welcome back to Brand for Good. So back in 1970, Milton Friedman proclaimed that the social responsibility of business is to increase its profits, prioritizing profit over other considerations. He argued against unions and any legal requirements for businesses to treat workers, consumers, and even society fairly. 50 years later, in 2020, Fortune magazine proclaimed his doctrine dead. That paradigm shift was already underway and had been underway for more than a decade at the time of Fortune's proclaimment. While corporations had previously embraced Friedman's philosophy, they were now witnessing its negative consequences. As climate change, income inequality, and social injustice became more obvious, business leaders recognized the need to adapt and redefine their roles. Early indicators of this new way of thinking became evident in the growing popularity of corporate social responsibility, called CSR, ethical business practices, and the adoption of sustainable development goals known as the SDGs. Then in 2019, the Business Roundtable revised its corporate purpose statement, emphasizing responsibility to stakeholders as well as shareholders. This statement of purpose was already being promoted by leaders and organizations around the world who were challenging the traditional practices of profit maximization at the expense of social and environmental concerns. In fact, the nonprofit B Lab was founded in 2006 in the United States by three friends who shared a vision to make business a force for good. These co-founders are Andrew Cassoy, Bart Houlihan, and Jay Cohen Gilbert, and they founded the nonprofit B Lab and certified the first 82 B Corps in 2007. So you may be wondering, what exactly is B Lab? B Lab is a nonprofit network transforming the global economy to benefit all people, communities, and the planet through collective action. Any business, regardless of size, can participate in this movement with or without going through the assessment and certification process. Using a free online assessment tool, you can evaluate where your business stands and what next right steps you might take towards doing more good with your business. I highly recommend this because just doing the assessment is very insightful. So I first took that assessment back in 2015, and I was so impressed with B Lab's standards that I submitted Prosper for Purpose's assessment to B Lab, and we became certified early in 2016. Since then, we've gone through certification 2 additional times. It was, at the time of our first certification, it was every 2 years, and now it's every 3 years. So B Lab states, building on B Lab standards and the assessment process, the B Lab network leads economic systems change to support our collective vision of an inclusive, equitable, and regenerative economy. Our programs and tools help B Corps and non-B Corps plan for a resilient future including multinationals looking to understand their social and environmental footprint. And our policy work pushes for more meaningful legal change around corporate accountability and social impact. So this concept of business as a force for good advocates for businesses to incorporate ethical practices, social responsibility, and sustainable initiatives. Businesses can have a profound impact on society when they prioritize purpose alongside profit, something I've witnessed firsthand through my work with my agency and our clients, many of whom have also been B Corps. And if you're wondering if prioritizing people and planet alongside profit can actually grow a business, then I want you to know that companies such as Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, Unilever, and the world's largest B Corp, Natura, have demonstrated that profitability and positive impact are not mutually exclusive. In fact, evidence suggests that businesses committed to social responsibility often outperform their counterparts. Consumers are more savvy than ever, and increasingly prefer brands that align with their values. We also see this with employees who are increasingly seeking purpose-driven workplaces that align with their values and give them a sense of purpose in their work. And so businesses that implement ethical principles and practices benefit from higher brand loyalty and a more engaged and productive workforce. And who wouldn't want that, right? Ethical business practices also contribute to long-term economic stability by mitigating risks. So think about this. As more companies address issues such as their climate impact and look at their supply chain to make it more ethical, they position themselves to prosper and lead in our changing world. Businesses also have a unique ability to use their skills and resources to impact their communities. So we think about big initiatives like Microsoft's Affordable Access Initiative and Google's Grow with Google. These are big impact examples, but any business can have an impact. Think about your resources and how you can help your community. You can even look for other businesses and offer to partner on an initiative, whether it's sponsoring backpacks for back to school for children in underserved communities to something large scale. There are so many opportunities all around us. B-Lab stresses that businesses play an important role in mitigating environmental challenges as they are major contributors to climate change and the depletion of our natural resources. So embracing sustainable practices such as adopting renewable energy sources, reducing carbon emissions, and minimizing waste are each steps that we can take to minimize our negative impact on the planet. So one thing Prosper for Purpose did back in 2017, we decided that we were going to drastically reduce the waste in our office. So we basically only printed when it was absolutely necessary, when we were going to be sitting down with clients, presenting campaigns or proposals. But for our day-to-day use, we stopped using the printer in our office. So we were a small business of, I think, 8 at that point. So it wasn't a big impact, but if every company did that, think about the reduction of waste that even small businesses could have. So perhaps one of the most important practices that we can focus on as business owners is ethical leadership. And so we all know and we've experienced that culture starts with the leader of the organization or the leader of the department in a large corporation, but culture definitely rolls down. So by prioritizing integrity, transparency, and accountability, we can set an example for our employees and earn their loyalty in return. Ethical leadership also enhances a company's brand because your best ambassadors are actually your employees and your customers, but only one has the inside track. So now that I've talked about what B Corps are and how you can utilize the B Impact Assessment to see how you can use business as a force for good with or without becoming a certified B Corp, I do want to acknowledge that this is not an easy path. Challenges persist. And B Lab is working to address these challenges by making changes to the assessment every few years. The framework is not a fixed one, nor should it be. As we evolve and learn and grow, our assessment changes as well. We find new opportunities. There's more solutions put out in the world, and how we engage with the resources available to us and the knowledge that we're gaining evolves as well. But the paradigm shift towards business as a force for good also reflects an acknowledgement that the success of a business, at least in part, relates to its impact on society and the environment. Ethical business practices, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability enhance a company's brand, create a positive culture, and contribute to long-term success. So as more businesses embrace this new paradigm, we have the potential to become powerful forces for good, driving positive change on a global scale and promoting a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous future for all. You can take this assessment and learn more about B corporations by going to the link in our show notes. You can take the assessment for free, see where you stand, and use it as a lens to look at and evaluate the changes that you can make quickly in your business and plan for longer term changes as well. So to close this episode, I'd like to share the B Corp Declaration of Interdependence. And when I first was certified and received this in the mail, I had to read it several times. I found it incredibly moving. So through the B Corp Declaration of Interdependence, we are accepting that what each of us does impacts the others. So let me just go ahead and read it to you. We envision a global economy that uses business as a force for good. This economy is comprised of a new type of corporation, the B Corporation, which is purpose-driven and creates benefit for all stakeholders, not just shareholders. As certified B corporations and leaders of this emerging economy, we believe that we must be the change we seek in the world, that all businesses ought to be conducted as if people and place mattered, that through their products, practices, and profits, businesses should aspire to do no harm and benefit all. And finally, to do so requires that we act with the understanding that we are each dependent upon one another and thus responsible for each other and future generations. So again, if you'd like to learn more about using business as a force for good, go to the B Corp assessment or reach out to us at Prosper for Purpose through connect@prosperforpurpose.com. We'd be glad to have a conversation with you. So thanks so much for joining me on this special episode of Brand for Good. I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brand for Good show. If you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode, and leave a review so other purpose-driven leaders can find this valuable content. To learn more about building a brand for good, please visit prosperforpurpose.com for more resources and information on all the ways you can work with us.